Hello and welcome to another episode of Streaming Without a Paddle. I'm Andrew.
And I am Ted.
All right, Ted. We took on a Netflix, right?
Right.
Netflix. I don't want to call it a series, but it is a series. It should have been a full-blown movie. And I could have sat through 7 hours of this. And I'm talking about Wednesday.
Yeah.
Going to get into copyright if you got two more bars.
I know.
We'd be in trouble.
It's you know what I was hit with. I'm just gonna say it straight off. The Jenna Ortega girl is a great Wednesday. Completely different than the way Christina Ricci did it, but she's great. But I had this moment of remembering when I was 12 years old, the Indian Lake Cineplex, which was like 6 movie theaters, built a haunted house inside the movie theater to promote the Addams Family too.
I don't remember that.
Oh, you were in California.
Yeah, I was going to say I probably wasn't here. So
it was so rad. It was so rad, and they had Addams Family pinball machine and all this stuff, and I was really hip with that. And then I was like, I'm the same age as Christina Ricci. Who's in this?
Who's in it? She is, surprisingly, and I didn't realize that she was in it until after, I don't know, episode 2 or whatever you want to call those. I heard that she was in it and did the IMDb check, and lo and behold, there she was. So, which I think is great.
Oh, I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan. She's great.
And you know what? I think that it's hard to say this without maybe stepping on some toes, and I don't mean to do it, but the role that she plays in this Addams Family version, which is basically a Tim Burton show, I thought was perfect for her. I mean, they didn't come in and she didn't have a co-starring, a heavy presence. She was in it enough. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was great. I thought it was, and she played it wonderful. I didn't recognize her at first, but then again, you see her from the original or the Addams Family that she was in version, and she's totally different.
Yeah, completely opposite character, but I mean, she's great.
Yeah. No.
Actually, everybody's great in this. I had a problem slogging through it, and that's my own issue. I just could not get super into it, but it wasn't because it wasn't good. It's really watchable, and it's really good, and everybody in it's really good.
Did you think it was too long?
Yeah.
You think it was too much?
It was just like, yeah, I need an hour less of this, I guess. Yeah. We've discussed I'm much more of a movie person, and you're more of a series person.
Yeah, well, you can say that. Again, I give series, no matter what they are, 3 episodes. Because I understand from a production standpoint that it takes time for individuals to gel before there gets that chemistry really going, despite rehearsals and walk and read-throughs and all that. It takes time for everybody to do that. And so I have the 3 episode rule and on series. So anyway, I loved it. I loved it. I mean, I grew up watching the television version of the Addams Family with John
Astin.
John Astin as Gomez and that crew. And, I was never a big fan, but back in those days, there weren't a lot of television viewing options.
You saw it in reruns. You're not that old.
When did it come out?
64 to 66.
Okay, well then, all right. I was born in 67.
You definitely, but
it was definitely reruns, but it was reruns shortly. I was preteen.
Well, I mean, they only,
Saturday
no offense,
mornings?
you only had 3 channels.
Yeah,
so,
I know, that's what I'm saying. I didn't, I watched it. I didn't have a lot of options, though.
You might have had 4 by the time you were like 10, right?
I think cable Cable came out when I was in the latter part of junior high. And I lived on I grew up on a farm, 120 acres, and Lord knows cable did not make it out to our house. I mean,
So you're talking like 1980?
if
Is
yeah,
that 79, 80? It was when I
Yeah.
remember cable. When,
it was already existing when you came around.
right, but I'm not. I do remember cable being 20 channels or 24 channels.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
It was not
no,
much. It was like, and half of them shut down at midnight or 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
But
they did the sign off. Yeah,
to get back into what we're talking about, I remember vividly Beverly Hillbillies, Green Acres, this.
Ditto.
It was always in a block together on like TNT or TBS.
Oh no, they were on regular television for me. I hate to say it.
ABC.
I can't tell you what the network was, but they were there. It was the Beverly Hillbillies was a big thing. I didn't have cable television until our family didn't have cable television until we moved from the country to the city. And that was my junior year of high school. Now, I would go, growing up in, my latter junior high years and early high school years, I'd go over to a friend's house that lived in the city and they had cable. And it was a big deal. I mean, so I got to see it. I knew it existed. MTV, oh my God.
Yeah.
That was CNN. That was another one.
Now, if my memory serves me, when you say from the country to the city, are you talking about like to Bluegrass? Where didn't you grow up on Bluegrass Drive?
No, I grew up on 120 acres off of, you would know it as Drake's Creek.
Yeah.
You know where Durham Farms is?
Yeah.
Okay, half of Durham Farms subdivision, for those not listening or knowledgeable, for those listening who aren't knowledgeable, Durham's Farm is a mega subdivision. And now, half of that subdivision was the farm that I grew up on.
Okay.
So, and then the other half joins it at the very back. If you drive into Durham Farms and you go all the way to the back, you'll see the other half of our farm.
Okay.
So, but yeah.
That's where you watched the
and
Addams
it's named
Family.
Durham. Yeah. And it's named Durham Farms because the entrance was owned by Mr. Durham,
Okay.
who was a dairy farmer. So
Okay.
that ground over there is very, very fertile. I can attest to it.
The more you know, I'm finding things
know,
out here.
Right. Well, thank you for listening. Now, to this week's episode of Farm Bureau. So anyway, we'll get back. Yeah, so John Astin's version of The Addams Family is what I grew up on, and I caught the version of The Addams Family. I wasn't that had Christina Ricci as Wednesday. I caught it, but I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. I know I saw it, so it wasn't one of those, everybody's sitting around watching it. I sat around and watched this one. And I am so glad I did. First and foremost, everybody, like you said, everybody that's in it did a great job. I mean, just unbelievable. This was my first exposure to Jenna Ortega.
Me too. It's because we're not children.
And oh my gosh. All right. Amazing job.
Wonderful job.
So, and there's this, and this is not a spoiler because it's been in all the trades and it's been on CNN and all the other, anybody talking about this show. There's a dance scene in there.
It's so good.
It's
so funny.
It rivals Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction dance scene with John Travolta and Uma Thurman.
Yes, it does. That's what
it was. I have to think that Tim Burton. I wonder if Tim Burton directed that episode, but whoever the director was after they shot that and they're sitting in the editing room and they're putting that dance scene together. Somebody in there said, "Eat this, Quentin Tarantino." I mean, that's the problem when you come out first and you do a great dance scene. Everybody else has the opportunity to knock you off the pole. And I'm sorry, Quentin, but you were knocked off the pole.
She did. A dance was so great. Tim Burton did direct that episode.
Okay.
If you don't think the
Burton.
sprinklers of blood or fake blood aren't happening on a Tim Burton episode, I guess you didn't know Large Marge sent him.
That's great. Oh my God. No, and Ted and I were briefly talking before we started here while we were having some technical difficulties. This is not your typical Tim Burton movie. So if you have a preconceived notion of going into this, it's directed by Tim Burton, I don't like his stuff, just throw it out the window because it's not Tim Burton. Classic.
Okay, so I think that there's some Tim Burton that is yes, it's got a Tim Burton flavor to it, but it also has more realism to it. But Tim Burton did some of the greatest banger movies of all time. Like, I mean, I get it. People are like, oh, Dark Shadows is too much and this is too stylized. But like, I think this is him going back more to like
Edward Scissorhands.
Yes, less stylized, but still in a real world. And I think that's why it works so well. Yeah.
Oh, it was, I thought it was great. Let's just going off the cast real quick. Catherine Zeta-Jones plays Morticia. Mm-hmm. Here's one thing that I did love about this movie. This movie focuses on Wednesday, hence the name. It's Wednesday, and all the rest of the Addams family members are supporting actors to Wednesday. This isn't a Morticia and Gomez Addams family movie. So,
there's an episode that is about them.
So yes, but I'm just saying it's not. Wednesday is the focus.
This is the female child detective Nancy Drew in high school that's a goth kid.
Yeah. I love the story.
Oh, I love it. I mean, and like, it's a gothy Nancy Drew, and I'm in for it.
Here's the thing, too. Here's the thing. I don't want to give too much away. Wednesday has special powers. Okay, beyond just being a great protector of her little brother.
Yeah.
And that's what gets Wednesday in trouble, as she was protecting her little brother. And so she had to go off they sent her off to I don't want to call it a reform school.
It's like a supernatural.
It's a school for kids with special powers.
So yeah, let's set it up. In this world, at this school, this academy.
Yeah.
They all have something that they are. Some form of monster or witch or special power, psychic power, telekinesis, something like that. Everyone at this place has that.
Yeah. So, matter of fact, we get that in the story. There's little factions within. There's the wolves.
There's the male Medusa.
And yes, there is the witches. Mm-hmm. There are the witches.
Siren.
Yeah. So
she's great.
Yeah. No, it was anyway, so it's a special school. Mm-hmm. And for kids with special talent, and we find out that Wednesday, she's no different than these children. She's got a special gift, and not going to expound upon what that gift is because I think it's integral to the story. But she has it. So, and which I found funny was because I found myself asking this question. Since her parents, Morticia and Gomez, they too went to that school. Mm-hmm. What were their special powers?
Her mom has the same power as her, but her mother she said you're informed by who kind of guides you, and her mother is guided in lightness and goodness.
Oh, that's right.
And she's guided in heaviness.
Okay.
And so she has to make sure she doesn't stray off and go crazy.
Okay.
But I just gave away a big one episode.
Well,
sorry.
Yeah, no. I loved it. I will watch this again. You know what I would love for them to do with shows like this? Is I would like for them to go in and take the 8 hours or whatever it is total. Mm-hmm. What are there, 8 episodes?
Yeah.
8 episodes in the series. And then do a re-edit. So it's down to 2 hours. So people who watch it the first time You can go in and you can get the whole 8 hours in, every little thing, but then come in, re-edit it so that there's a 2-hour version. So you can come back and that makes it, and again, it's just a producer, that makes it a new market too, because then you can turn around and you can sell those 2 hours to a TBS, somebody who's more constrained by viewing practices and time limits. So that's just my thought. When I watched this movie and I finished, I was like, all right, now I wish there was a 2-hour version of this. Go in, re-edit.
I think Jenna Ortega is going to be pretty famous, so unless they got her on a real long contract, I'm pretty sure that you might get a 2-hour version of the next movie.
You don't think that? Well, it would be great.
I am sure that she's locked up for 3 seasons, at least 3 seasons.
Oh, you think they're going to season this? You think that this is going to be? This just wasn't a one-off.
I don't think it's a one-off.
Oh, I went into. Yeah, I did. I thought this went in and it's like, okay, it's like Queen's Gambit. I mean, please turn that into a series, if you will. Well, I loved Queen's Gambit.
I'm unclear. Is this a limited series or is it? Is that how they called it?
I don't know.
I can't see them seeing how successful this has been, not doing another season set in a different place at a college or whatever.
Please, please. From your mouth to the gods.
I mean, it's Stranger Things they've pulled out 5 seasons of Stranger Things.
You think it'll go that way? Because that thought has not crossed my mind that they would do that. I just looked at this as a limited series, like they do so many of these things, and what we saw is what we got, and we're walking away, and that was it.
It's too popular.
I hope you're right.
But almost guarantee I'm right.
I hope you're right.
I'm saying if worst case scenario for you, you're getting a couple of movies as her as Wednesday before she ages out. And she's 21, so she's fine. Yeah. She's got like 8 years. She can still play 17. It's true. You can be anything under 30. You can play a high school kid.
No, you're right there. No question.
And if you're Ian Ziering from 90210, you can be like 34 and playing a high school kid.
Was there a little resentment in that?
No, I love it. Steve looked like an adult man when he was playing. because he was.
What was I didn't watch 90210. I'll just because I was off enjoying life when that came out and working and so I wasn't in front of a TV that much. But the oldest cast member was the
Andrea Zuckerman.
Okay, yeah, little brunette.
The newspaper. She did the newspaper
because she was like 40 or something.
Yeah, she was like the president of SAG. I met her one time. She's very nice. But yeah, she was.
Have a problem with your check? You can get it right to the top.
Yeah,
to get this worked out.
I was like, I don't understand my residuals. No, she was like.
Let's go talk about it.
I think she was legitimately 34 or 35 when that show started.
I was amazed when they. Said that, or I found out that she was that old doing that series. I was like, wow.
I'm kidding on Ian Ziering. He was like 24 playing a 16-year-old, but still, no, she was legitimately in her 30s.
So, yeah. Anyway, I want to talk about Wednesday because I loved everything about this. I mean, all the hype you're hearing on television and podcasts and wherever in the media about this show deserves every bit of it as far as I'm concerned, because this was, I'm comparing it to Queen's Gambit. From a series standpoint, this was one of the most brilliantly shot and done things that I've seen since then.
I did not, it's good. I just, again, am saying that I was not like driven to finish it. I'd get done with one and be like, okay, cool, I'll watch another one tomorrow. And it's not that I don't like it. I just don't know. I think it's just too much for me.
I could have done the 8 hours plus in one sitting on this movie.
Wow.
Without a question.
My sister felt that way.
Your sister did?
Stephanie loved it.
I could have. I got through that first episode and I was just, please let me miss the first two, or I'm 2 weeks or 3 weeks behind because I want to keep watching this. But unfortunately, I started the series when the series first dropped, and I had to wait, and it was very uncomfortable. I wanted to watch it I mean, it was, to me, this was like my wife watching Friends. I mean, every Thursday she had to tune into Friends. You
Got to
know?
see what crazy hijinks Monica's up to.
Right. Yeah. And I was just like, Queen's Gambit. If you haven't seen that one, you've got to watch that. Anna Joy Taylor stars in it, and it's absolutely brilliant from a production standpoint and acting standpoint. The story in it is just amazing as well. And I'm saying all that so I can build up and hype up and say Wednesday is to me, not to Ted.
No.
But he likes it. No, it's just this is like the Ted Lasso for me. I mean, this goes into the I have to watch this kind of show. I was disappointed when it ended and the last episode rolled because I wanted more. I wanted this to be the show that got me through the winter. This was my Game of Thrones. Now I'm going to have to watch Game of Thrones
again
and again and again.
I you know what? I would watch this anytime it were on. I just don't feel the need to rewatch it.
Okay, I'm going to rewatch this.
I think that everybody in it was really good. I enjoyed them. I'm trying to think if there's anything. That's what I was saying to you before. There's nothing negative I can say to you about the show.
I don't think so. I'm just at a different level of excitement for this show.
Yeah. I mean,
because again, I went in with the not the Tim Burton idea of Edward Scissorhand, but more of his darker stuff, stylistic stuff, and it's not there. It's just not there. It was shot in for the storyline, a very realistic manner. Mm-hmm. There's this wonderful crossover between the mortals, us normal humans, and those with special talent. So that realism was there, and it's like, okay, these people could exist. I mean, it really.
I did enjoy that. I enjoyed the fact of part of the setup is the normal people in this town where this private school, like they don't like each other,
right? And
it's like they're the Pilgrims, and they're the. I thought how fun that would be to like live in a town where like this is Supernatural Academy.
Well, yeah, and that's the basis kind of the storyline, too. The play off the town. If there was a mascot for the town, it would be a pilgrim. Mm-hmm. Okay. But this whole thing rolls off of, well, you get this Salem witch hunt trial kind of vibe to it.
Yep.
And so I kind of associated that right from the introduction of, okay, they really live in a real normal town, or the school is in a real normal town. These are freaks. These kids are weird, and they have to deal with it, and they know they're kind of subservient to this special school. Well, they are. I'm not giving anything away. It's just part of the storyline is, the town would not exist if it weren't for this special school. But there's a lot of animosity and hatred towards the school, fear. So, but anyway, yeah, I just... Jenna Ortega, holy smokes.
She's great.
To see that kind of performance come out of somebody so young, it's just awe-inspiring. I mean, she really, she Daniel Day-Lewis'd it. I really think she did. You don't think so?
No, I think she's great. I love that's like a describing.
It was her. You watch stuff like, and I've said it before, Bill Murray in St. Vincent. I grew up watching Bill Murray in everything. Groundhog Day, Meatballs, Caddyshack, you name it. The Royal Tannenbaums and that.
Steve Zissou and the Aquatic.
Bill Murray, you watch a movie, it's Bill Murray, and you play along, and he's playing somebody. It's Bill Murray playing Bill Murray, playing somebody. But when he did St. Vincent and On the Rocks, another one, well, even in Greatest Beer Run Ever,
Yeah.
Bill Murray shakes being Bill Murray. And you just totally ignore the fact that it's Bill Murray and the character becomes the reality. And that is what I think Jenna Ortega did in this. And I haven't seen her in anything else.
I've seen her in the last Scream. She was in the Scream.
I didn't see
I'm
the
pretty
last
sure
Scream.
she was in the last Scream. Yeah, why would you?
Yeah, I know,
6.
right? Well, it's horror.
Yeah, not your bag.
No, horror's not my bag. This is where I put horror. If my wife comes to me and says, "Hey, you want to watch Scream or The Notebook?"
Yeah, she's in the last Scream, and it was an enjoyable movie, and she's in the next Scream.
She's awesome. Now, I'm going to go back and watch the last Scream to see if her acting style is the same. If she delivers that kind of, again, Daniel Day-Lewis kind of performance. If she absorbs into a character as much as she did as Wednesday, because it was almost in the realm of reality television. They found the actual Wednesday, and let's just build a script around her.
If memory serves me correctly, she is the little sister to the main person in Scream. And she's got she's really good in it.
Okay.
She's just a really good actor.
This was my first exposure to her, and I was blown away.
Jenna Ortega, you have a fan in Andrew.
You do. You don't let me down. Don't. You started off. It's like Anna Joy Taylor. That was the Queen's Gambit. Was the first thing I saw her in, and oh my gosh, she set the bar so high, from just being captivated and just enthralled that she became that character, and you really felt like you were part of it. I mean, as an actor, you have to understand. I mean, you realize that viewers, when they watch movies and they see actors portraying a character, fictional or not, there's a selling point to it. I mean, that's why there are awards. You walk away from it. McDermott, Fargo, what's her first name? Frances. I'm sorry. She's a cop, and she always will be a cop from Fargo, and she's a damn good cop, and she's great. And, she pulled it off in, 3 billboards? I mean,
Macbeth?
She is an actor's actor.
Yeah.
And Jenna Ortega, in my book, her performance in this movie made me believe that her name was Wednesday. That was it. I mean, it wasn't Jenna Ortega. It was Wednesday.
I'm with you.
So
she was very good.
She was. Everybody was really good in it. And I do have to say this. I was relieved that Catherine Zeta-Jones' role was minimal in this.
Oh, you're not a fan?
I like Catherine Zeta-Jones, but I didn't think this was kind of the movie for her. I'm not going to say she's one of my most favorite actresses, but I was like, oh no.
Who would you prefer it be?
No, it's not that I prefer the role to be anything. It's just that you have times when actors with such big names and personas come into something, they seem to overshadow anybody else's performance in the movie. They command it. And she has that ability to do that.
I think she has that ability.
So that's why I'm saying it was good to see that her role was minimalized in this, because she, of all people, could have come in and really overshadowed the performance of anybody else in there. Who was her husband? Who played Gomez in this?
Oh, he's from Waiting.
Yeah,
he's great. Luis. He is really good. Oh, now you're gonna have to edit this.
I know.
He is.
That's all right.
He is.
We're gonna let it roll, baby.
Luis Guzmán.
There you go.
He's great. He's in everything. See, I think that people that are our age are like, oh, I don't want Catherine Zeta-Jones to take away from the show, but I think anyone younger than 25 is like, who's Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, no, there's nothing wrong with it, but she's, a 50-something-year-old woman, and I don't think that she's a beautiful woman and a great actress. I don't think any of these younger people know who she is.
Well, I guess in Ocean's 13, was it?
She is in that, isn't she?
I mean, my gosh, she came in there and it was just like, again, here you've got all these established people, Brad Pitt, George Clooney, everybody. It's Julia Roberts. Catherine Zeta-Jones came into that movie and her performance in it just became too much. I mean, great actress in it, but I mean, everybody was playing on Joe Cool or Cool Hand Luke level. Mm-hmm. Shaking the bush, boss, shaking the bush.
Ain't no man eat 50 high-boiled eggs.
Oh, Kennedy's great. But she came into that and she just brought every time that movie was on it, she just brought a different intensity level to it, which kind of detracted from the coolness of everybody else, the Rat Pack there. And I'm going back to the original Ocean's movie. That was the original Rat Pack, Sammy Davis Jr. and Frank Sinatra and them. But, that Rat Pack had a certain level of cool. And she came in and brought an intensity that just, to me...
She's too intense.
Broke it up.
She did not do that in this.
I hate when she's cast next to somebody or opposite somebody that has such a cool persona. She did that with Sean Connery in that...
Thomas... That's not Sean Connery.
No, Sean... you're talking about the Thomas Crown Affair. Oh, no, that's Rene Russo.
Yeah.
No, she was in that movie with Sean Connery. He was a thief, and this is 15 years ago. But Sean Connery, he comes in and he plays this. She's a thief, a criminal too.
I know what you're talking about. I'm going to find it while you're explaining it.
But she came in there, and Sean Connery's character is just so cool and laid back. He's got it all figured out, and she just brings this such an intense level to the party. Entrapment.
You're right, but I don't think she did that in this. I think she was actually good.
That's what I'm saying. She was good, but I'm glad that's why they kept her role minimalized in this. That the times that she and her daughter, mother-daughter thing here, did interact with each other, it was great. I mean, it was wonderful. But I think if there was more, it would have potentially overshadowed what Jenna Ortega was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, great job. She did a great job, but I'm glad they minimized her role in it. So, and who was Guzmán?
Luis Guzmán.
Luis Guzmán, okay.
He was great.
He was.
He's always good.
All right, who was better? Who was better is, who's your favorite Gomez? After seeing all three of these things now.
Raul Julia.
You can't beat him, can you?
He's so good. Angelica Houston, too, is honestly my favorite.
Well, that was his...
Morticia.
They
had, that movie... First of all, I don't want to compare the movies to the show, to this series, and it's a TV series, so they'll do more, by the way.
Okay, good.
I don't want to compare them because it's it's too hard. I mean, this is an 8-episode thing where they were doing that in an hour and 40 minutes. So it's kind of like...
Well, see, this is the great thing about streaming platforms, and this is why I love streaming services now, and I'm so into them. They give people like Tim Burton more creative freedom. I mean, they're able to build on things like this character in a manner that couldn't be done in a motion picture or in a 30-minute series.
Yes.
And there's just so much flexibility when, you come into, you're talking about Stranger Things. you got one episode that's 80 minutes long, and then you've got another episode that's 122 minutes long.
Yeah.
That's how, personally, that's how you build a good show, an entertaining thing, because you eliminate the confines of a time period from the end point to the out point because of commercials, or we've got to move on to the next show. Mm-hmm. And you just open that door up to these creators. And I think streaming services, despite, and I haven't read it other than a headline that Ben Affleck thinks that streaming services are just production mills. And
that's what he said?
Yeah. Again, I haven't read it. I saw the headline. And
well, if I was a movie star, I feel like I would feel the same way. He's a movie star. That's different. Well,
see, I thought he was a creator.
I mean, he is, but he's also
he's got to learn to separate the two if that's what it is, because he's not going to get a better opportunity to be a creator than he's going to get with the streaming service. Mm-hmm. I mean, if it's just about dollars and cents for him, forget it. I mean, you come in and you take a series like this, even The Watcher. You couldn't have done The Watcher in less than 2 hours. And it was a 6-episode series.
Yeah.
That was, and I don't even subscribe to, mystery, suspense stuff. That was good. I enjoyed The Watcher. It was good. But it was the creative, the streaming services gave that platform to those people. And this show, Wednesday, was a tremendous benefactor from that ability. Tim Burton coming in and boom, done.
Yes.
He built it.
He did.
He built it.
So what is your verdict? What is your final on this? What do you give it?
Oh, I'm all over.
4 of 4?
Oh, this is again. I'm gonna stick with numbers 0 to 100, and I'm putting this at 96, 97. I'm there.
I'm gonna go. It was great. When I watched it, I enjoyed it. I'm going to say 85.
Okay, that's still a good number.
It's a great number.
That's a solid B.
It's a B, almost B plus. Oh. 2 more points.
2 more points.
Yeah.
No, I did. I was impressed. I don't think I would change anything. I'm stoked to hear or believe that this is potentially a reoccurring series on Netflix, and they've got, if it's not, and somebody hears this,
it should be.
Yeah, you need to rethink this, because that was from a series standpoint. That, again, Queen's Gambit, in my book, Game of Thrones. I know it's totally different, but those are just blockbuster series. Yeah, I'm a firm 96, 97 on that. Nothing less. Nothing less. So
definitely watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even if you're like me and it's like, okay, we're going to watch another one, but it's still good.
Binge it. Don't binge all 8 episodes. Break it down, because I am a firm believer that streaming services, and if you're asking me, programming people out there, you have to drop series like this in bunches of no less than 2. Yeah, no less than 2.
That's annoying. Please drop 2 episodes. Any HBO Max, any people, please at least drop 2.
Even better, keep the project secret, drop them all at the same time. That's even better for me.
That's the Netflix model.
That is just dump. Just dump the whole thing and let people consume and eat what they want, how they want to eat it. But don't go weekly. Don't be HBO on this. Don't be Apple. Give us something to chew on. And this is a series that you should get in and you should watch for a month or 2 weeks. 2 episodes every other night of this movie, of this series.
That's what you should do.
You should get out. Anyway. All right. Whew. I'm glad I got that out.
Yeah, you had a lot to say.
I did. I've been doing a lot of thinking about this one because I really, where's the beep button? Effing love this show. This was.
You might have just made our longest episode yet. I'm pretty sure.
No, we got monsters and.
Oh, that was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Hey, Rob Zombie, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
Like you care what we think, but it was the worst movie I've ever seen.
You might have been following the Tim Burton model there, but he took a dive to the left and you went right. And
yes,
because his approach to this was wow. Anyway. As always, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Check us out on our Facebook page. Just search Streaming Without a Paddle, and you can listen to episodes there. And you can actually tune in and see a little video of us here at the studio.
On YouTube.
If we can call that. What did I say? Facebook?
You said Facebook, but it's YouTube.
It's YouTube. Yeah,
that
but
will
we do.
also be
Hey, we
on
do have.
Facebook.
That's right. It's on our Facebook page, so just click and it'll link you to the YouTube thing. So anyway. I'm Andrew.
I'm Ted.
Till next time.